People usually think of Adam Smith, Karl Marx, or if they go a bit further back, Aristotle when they talk about the origins of economic thought. But there is a truth that often goes unnoticed, waiting in a quieter corner of history, a truth that Western historical narratives rarely mention. Nearly 1,000 years ago, at a time when capitalism did not yet exist and central banks were nowhere to be found, a Muslim thinker issued a warning that strongly resembles many of the financial crises we experience today. He spoke of this: when money loses its moral dimension, societies begin to rot from the inside. When we look at the modern world, it is hard not to notice that he understood it far better than we might expect. Welcome to History of Money, where money, power, and history intersect, and where nothing is ever as simple as it seems. To understand al-Ghazali, we must imagine a world that feels both familiar and distant to us. The year is around 1100. Europe is fragmented, poor, and still carries the marks of the early Middle Ages. In contrast, the Islamic world stretches from Al-Andalus to the lands of Persia. Cities are lively, crowded, and wealthy. Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo. These are not just cities, but the economic and intellectual centers of their time. Trade routes carry silk, spices, textiles, and silver. Scholars debate philosophy, law, astronomy, and medicine. Markets are active, the empire is wealthy, and prosperity is transforming society at a pace no one can fully comprehend. It is within this rapid transformation that Abu Hamid al-Ghazali emerges. A philosopher, a jurist, a theologian, and a sharp observer. Someone who questioned both the purpose of the human soul and the function of money with the same seriousness. Born in 1058 in Persian lands, al-Ghazali quickly became one of the most respected scholars of his time. By his mid-30s, he had assumed one of the most prestigious positions in the Islamic world. But what truly set him apart was not his title. It was his willingness to question what was happening around him. Wealth was increasing, markets were expanding, yet al-Ghazali sensed that something was wrong. A society growing richer on the outside while losing its meaning within. A system increasingly focused on money while slowly abandoning its values. It is not difficult to see the parallels with today. Al-Ghazali asked a simple but profound question: what happens when a society becomes wealthy faster than it becomes wise? He searched for the answer in the nature of money itself. This is the point that surprises many Western audiences. Al-Ghazali was not merely a religious thinker. He was one of the earliest thinkers to examine money from moral and systemic perspectives. He did not focus only on how money is used, but on how it shapes human behavior, trust, and ultimately the fate of society. To him, money was not something to be worshipped, hoarded, or used as a display of power. It was simply a tool that allows people to exchange goods and services with one another. He compared money to a mirror. A mirror has no value on its own. Its value lies in what it reflects. Money is the same. Its value comes from enabling production, trade, and cooperation among people. What sounds like a modern idea today was being articulated by al-Ghazali in the 11th century. From this, he reached a crucial conclusion. Hoarded money is dead money. Wealth locked away in chests, buried in the ground, or kept out of circulation, he argued, harms society. Because money that does not circulate does not work. It does not reach people, does not support trade, and does not sustain life. When the wealthy hoard money, artificial scarcity emerges even when real scarcity does not exist. Prices distort, markets tighten, and people suffer the consequences. Al-Ghazali was also deeply critical of speculation. He did not see merchants who manipulated prices or profited from crises as clever, but as corrupt. Profiting from the hardship of others was, in his view, an act that undermined the very foundations of society. He believed such behavior was contagious. It begins in one place and eventually spreads throughout the entire system. Al-Ghazali was not opposed to trade. He was not opposed to profit. He was not an enemy of wealth. But he was firmly against dishonest gain. He opposed fraud, lies, profit-driven deception, concealing defects and manipulating information. Because markets can only function when trust exists, and when trust collapses, the economy collapses with it. He placed great value on labor. He believed that money earned through honest work strengthens a person, while money gained through manipulation corrupts them. Societies grow through contribution and weaken through exploitation. As for states, al-Ghazali considered the debasement of currency to be outright theft. Diluting gold or silver to create money was, in effect, a hidden tax on the population, and it harmed the poor most of all. The role of the state, he believed, was to protect the market, not to distort it for short-term gain. In his view, unjust rulers destroy prosperity faster than external enemies ever could. In the end, his conclusion was clear. A society can survive poverty, but it cannot survive corruption. Economies collapse not because money runs out, but because trust does. Al-Ghazali understood this deeply. Money is ultimately a matter of belief. When people stop believing, the system stops working. Many of today's crises are modern examples of this reality. Al-Ghazali's core message remains valid. When money becomes detached from morality, the system eventually breaks. If you fail to learn from history, history will test you again and again. And if this narrative was useful to you, don't forget to subscribe.